Hi, guys. Welcome to part two of listening to your emotions. My name is Tina Wafer, and I'm your life enthusiast. I'm the owner and CEO of A Work in Progress, a consulting and coaching company designed to help families discover their God given gifts, talents, and abilities and come together to leverage those things into small businesses, encouraging families to become entrepreneurs and start to build a legacy for their children that they can be proud of. So, I have been having a discussion on emotions, and we've already covered bitterness, resentment, discomfort, anger. So, now let's talk a little bit about disappointment. Discovering our emotions and learning from our emotions. We've come to realize that getting to know ourselves better allows us to have better personal and professional relationships with others. And so we're going to recognize our emotions and figure out what those emotions are trying to tell us. Okay? So disappointment shows that you tried for something that you did not give in to, right? And that you still care about. You tried something, didn't work out, but you still care about it. So when you have a feeling of disappointment, recognize the fact that you are dissatisfied. Um, that is a portion of your life that you have not done any closure. You have not come to the point that either you're going to fix it or you're going to leave it alone. All right. And we do have to recognize that there are things that we cannot fix and things that we cannot change. And so it's some action or something that has happened with you that you tried and it didn't work, or something happened and you wanted it to happen one way and it happened another. You feel a sense of disappointment. Well, first of all, we know that disappointment means that this thing has already occurred, so it's in the past. And we recognize the fact that we cannot live in the past, but that the past is a history book for us to learn from. So when you're feeling disappointment about something, recognize the fact that that is something that you need to close the chapter on, either by fixing it or deciding that you're going to leave it alone. Disappointment. Okay? The next thing is guilt. All right? Guilt. And a lot of us have guilt about a lot of different things. Moms have guilt about not being able to provide for and take care of their children the way they would like to. I'm sure fathers feel the same thing. I'm just speaking from my perspective. But we feel guilt when when we have not lived up to our own expectations. So lots of times we've decided that, at a certain age, I will have accomplished this thing or I will have done that thing. And when we don't reach those goals, we're oftentimes have some feelings of guilt because of that. All right. So guilt shows that you're still living life in other people's expectations of what you should do. Hmm. Guilt. Because if you know in your heart that you did your very best with something, if it didn't work out, there should be no feelings of guilt. Because the best is all you got, right? So you either figure out a different way to do it or decide that you're not going to do it. It's not for you. Whatever the case may be, feeling guilty usually means that you are relying entirely too much on the expectations of others, what other people expect from you. All right? Guilt. It's no good. Let it go. Shame is another one of those things that kind of falls in line with the expectations of other. And here it says shame shows that you're internalizing other people's beliefs about you. You should be or who you are, and that you need to reconnect with yourself. Okay? Shame. Because people say I'm ashamed of myself, but are people really very often ashamed of themselves, or do they feel shame because somebody else knows whatever it is that happens? Somebody else knows about their situation and they feel shame because of that. So you are internalizing the feelings, the thoughts and emotions of other people, and that is something that is definitely detrimental to somebody, because you're never going to please everybody. You just have to recognize the fact that you should be living your life for an audience of one. And really, that's the one. that really matters. And so if you do what you need to do in his eyesight, then everybody else's opinions should really not matter. Fair enough? Okay. Anxiety. Anxiety is the next thing. Anxiety shows that you need to wake up right now and that you need to be present, that you're stuck in the past and living in the fear of the future. Anxiety. Feeling anxious. Now, we are not talking about a clinical diagnosis of anxiety. That's not what I'm referring to. I'm not a medical expert, and so I'm not referring to the clinical diagnosis of anxiety. I'm talking about just a feeling of anxiousness that we all have from time to time. Recognizing the fact that that anxiety shows that you need to wake up, recognize the fact that you are right here, right now. What's going on right here, right now is it, and that you can't fix anything in the past, and you cannot change the future until it gets here. Only thing you can do is prepare for it and work towards doing what you need to do. But I can tell you that one thing that helps me with anxiety is it's usually because I have more thoughts in my head than I can focus on at one time. Feeling a little bit overwhelmed. And so what helps me is making a list of all of those things, because really it seems that my anxiety is coming from the fact that I'm afraid I'm going to forget something or leave something out, So making a list of everything, that all of the million thoughts that I have going through my mind, helps me with my anxiety, and maybe it will help you as well. But there are other things that you can do to help with anxiety. Prayer is definitely the number one thing to help with any of these emotions, praying about it. But also, once you have prayed, is getting up, educating yourself, and recognizing the fact that these emotions are trying to tell you something, and that if you learn from them, you will be better for it. Fair enough? All right. Okay, the last one that we're going to talk about is sadness. And I'm sure that for a multitude of reasons, people are sad. And some of those reasons are valid in our eyesight, and some are not. Some things, you're like, let me give you some real problems while you're being sad about that. But what you can't do is belittle or put down anybody's reasons for their sadness, because we're all different. We're all touched by different things in different ways, and we should respect and acknowledge that in one another. So sadness shows you the depth of your feeling, the depth of your care for others and for the world. And so the sadder you are, usually the more passionate you are about the feelings and the emotions of others. So that is totally understandable to feel that way. But we do have to take hold of our emotions, and our sadness is one of those emotions, and recognize the fact that it will hold us back. It will cause us to stumble if we wallow in those emotions for too long. So that's my spiel for the day. Just a few things about our emotions and learning from them, what they're trying to tell us, and how we can take control of our emotions so as to be better familiar with ourselves and better able to develop those really good personal and professional relationships that we are going to be endeavoring to take part in the very near future. All right, how does that sound? Sounds good to me. All right, once again, my name is Tina Wafer, and I am your life enthusiast. You can contact me on Instagram at A Work in Progress Tina Life Coach, or on Facebook at A Work in Progress Tina. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you guys again real soon. Control your emotions. Bye-bye now.